Jacob, you see that screen on there?
Yep.
Cool, perfect. Okay, so first, just to point out, we do publish new features. So if you go up, click on this new button here, that will open up the new features section. And then we've got a list there. So typically we won't go through everything on that list, but we will try and hit most of the highlights in this webinar. So first thing that we will go over is the statement invoice dropdown inside of the customer section. So if you go inside of the customer section, you now have an option to choose if you want this customer to always get a statement or always get an invoice. So if it's empty, it'll go based on whichever option you use when you're invoicing. So for example, so if I leave this as select, and then I go and I create an invoice or a statement, it's going to go based on this option, this style that I have selected under the options. So if I go back to this customer and then change it to a statement and save this. Now, anytime I go ahead and generate bills, if I use statement or invoice, that customer will always get a statement. So if you want it to just continue to function as it's been functioning, then you would want to leave this on select. So if you're wanting to force this customer to always get a statement, then set it on statement, click save. That's the first change. The next change that we'll go over is this print button. So now if you want to, you can print out the information for a customer's account. And that's a print that's fairly similar to what was in CLIPitc, just includes the address information for the customer, their main email address, customer since, last activity fields, and then the first contact set of information. Another cool feature that I was really looking forward to was the create copy option. So if you have a customer that looks just like, say, say you're doing a service for somebody and then their next door neighbor signs up, you know that they want basically the same services and their address and information is all pretty similar. Then you can go into the current customer that you have, click the create copy button, and this will create a new customer with a new account number that says copy on it. And then I can just change the information to the neighbor's information. But what I got is I got all of the jobs, packages, and pricing that I had inside of that other customer data. So this way I can quickly just create a copy of the customer, change a couple things that are different, and then go from there instead of adding the pattern and then adding the jobs and packages. So if you know that somebody is very similar to a different one, that can be pretty useful. All right, and then next we'll go over to jobs. So another thing that we've added is a print button in the top corner. So if you want to print out your jobs, you can include on hold if you want to, click print, and then you'll get a printout that's got some of the basic scheduling information, the address information, and then any route sheet notes and notes that you've got for that customer or for that job. And then you can see we've got 3 pages because this customer had 3 jobs on it. Then we added the taxable field to pattern customer. So just a small change, but if you want to set up your patterns as taxable, non-taxable, you can do that now. And then the other thing that we've changed, we've added a fuel surcharge option that only creates 1 charge per customer. So typically fuel surcharge will create a charge per service. So like each time I went to their property, I'll charge them say $1 more or something. So that would add up to $4. If you're wanting to just do one charge for the customer's account, you can use this calculate one charge per customer and then just use a fixed amount and charge that fixed amount to the customer's account. Right. Another thing that we've added is we've had this message customer section under the daily get work section. And this allows you to quickly create a message for customers, say if it snows or you're doing say irrigation turn-ons, or you have a change in weather that messes up your schedule. You want to let everybody know that's on the schedule currently. You can click this message customer and then choose which customers you want to email this to. And then click the create email button. And then what we've added is we've added a template. So now if you want to, you could set up like a snow template, irrigation template, and say a rain template, and then have some pre-populated text, save it in there, and then just use that template when you want to send an email to a customer. The place that you would change those templates is under customer, then marketing emails. And you know what? I probably didn't set up the permission for myself to change that. If we do release, if you see something in here that I go over, but you don't see it in your own account, make sure that you go check your permissions, because typically when we release something new, we'll set it as not having permission until you give your employees and users permission to that feature. So good little reminder there. Another thing that we've added is just a small thing, but the ability to sort in the when activate rounds process. So I'll go ahead and set up these rounds. Hang on a second. So we'll activate rounds. And then inside of here, we change this grid so that it is sortable. So if you're trying to just find certain customers or certain areas or routing numbers or something, you can sort based on that and then just add the work based on that information. So of course, we've still got the map selection there. So you can also draw a loop around a certain area of rounds and activate those if you wanted to do it that way too. So we added the customer statement note to the customer reports. So that's a new field. So if you need to create some custom reports based on that, you can now. And then another thing that we've added is the ability to update credit card expiration numbers or credit card expiration year and month. So if I come in here, I go to edit info, click update on the card, and then I can update it. So if a customer just had a card renewed or something and you need to update the month and year, you can do that without having to re-enter the card. So another feature that we've added is the ability to translate job notes. So if you've got some job notes here, we've added these translate buttons so you can do the translation right on this screen as you're typing a note or setting up a note. You can do that inside of here now, as well as under the job section. So that was under the job section already, but we moved it into the record work screens as well. And then one last thing that I want to go over is the employee hours by category report. So this report will give you kind of a summary of, actually here I'm going to have to switch screen shares to get this one on screen. So bear with me just a minute. All right, so then you can see that this will fill in the date, show me the employee name. It has the start stop punch in times and gives me the clock time based on that. And then I've got the hours in each category that the hours that they spent in each category. So this guy, he was working on 1.5 and he got about 3 hours done inside of the landscape category. And those categories come from the job category section. And so that kind of lets you, if you categorize your sales in your company, or you just want a report that kind of helps you figure out which areas an employee was working on, you can use that report to figure that information out. And those job categories come from underneath the job, set up as job category. You can add more to those either through here or through the customize section. And then get those to show up on that report. All right, Jacob. I think that's all I have for today.
All right, perfect. Well, thanks, Dave. All right, guys. I don't think I've seen any questions in the chat, so if you have anything now, feel free to drop it in. I know I said it at the beginning, but I'll say it one more time as well, guys. If you have questions, if you have concerns, if you have thoughts, email us, call us. Support@clip.com is our email address. Phone number is 1-800-635-8485. We're here to help. Training, always free. Demos, always free. Tech support, always free as well. All of these webinars are also recorded. They're put on our YouTube channel. So if you hopped in a little bit late or you want to see something again, feel free to head over to the YouTube channel, take a look at our past updates and upgrades webinar along with all the other videos as well. All right. Thanks, everyone.
Bye-bye.